Today, the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a challenge to Colorado law that bans conversion therapy for LGBTQ+ children. Thank you for joining us at noon. I'm Brianna Fernandez. The practice, which is banned by over 20 states, uses counseling to encourage children who are gay, lesbian, or transgender to revert back to their sexual identity or gender assigned at birth. The conservative-led court took on an appeal brought by a Christian therapist from Colorado Springs who says the therapy will allow people to align their lives more closely with their faith. Colorado officials say if the courts rule in favor of lifting the ban, it would undercut states' long-standing ability to protect patients and clients from harmful professional conduct. The case won't be argued until the court's next term, which starts in October. Starting today, American farmers are now bracing for the impact of new tariffs on many of the products they sent to China. The stock market is already reacting to concerns about the economy and tariffs' impact. The Dow was down 300 points early on, then just kept dropping. Here's how it's doing right now. The uncertainty also sent the S&P 500 to its lowest level since September of last year. NBC's Janice McKay-Frayer shares more on the tariff fight.
China is the largest food importer in the world, so tariffs could take a big hit at American farmers. Chicken, wheat, cotton, corn, all subject to 15% and a 10% tariff on sorghum, soybeans, pork, beef, fruits, vegetables, dairy, aquatic products, all in retaliation for those additional tariffs that President Trump put on all Chinese goods that now total 20%. China's levies took effect today, though anything shipped before, even yesterday, or that arrived by April 12th won't be affected. China's foreign ministry said today, quote, whether it's a tariff war or a trade war, both begin with harming others and end with harming oneself. But that Beijing had allowed some time for the tariffs to take effect suggests that officials might have been looking for negotiation. But there's been very little open communication between the two sides since President Trump announced tariffs last month. Unlike Canada or Mexico, China has taken this more defiant approach, and they haven't reached out that we know of, even after President Trump suggested he would have a call with Xi Jinping. One view is that it is in Beijing's style to duke it out in real time. All through the big political meetings this week here in Beijing, Chinese leaders have been seeking to present China as a steady and dependable stalwart, as a contrast to the chaotic decision-making coming out of the White House. Chinese officials also argue that fentanyl is not a legitimate reason for a trade war, so they appear to be biding their time and not asking for a deal. Janice McKay-Frayer, NBC News, Beijing.
Now, with a potential government shutdown just days away, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson says he has a new spending bill that could keep things running until the end of September. Republican leadership aides say the bill would increase military spending while also including cuts to domestic spending programs. Johnson says he hopes to hold the vote on passing the bill tomorrow. President Donald Trump supports the measure and is pushing Republicans to vote for it. Now we're taking a live look over the metro area. It looks beautiful out there, and you can see just how blue that sky is right now. Joining me now is Keely Chalmers with our 9 News Weather Impact team. Keely, I know a lot of folks are excited to get outside today.
It's going to be gorgeous. It's already gorgeous outside. Temperature is going to be about 15 to 20 degrees above normal for this time of the year. We've got lots of sunshine. We're also just dealing with a few high clouds, and that is about it. 64 degrees right now at DIA. Winds out of the west-southwest 9 miles per hour. Wind's not too bad right now, but they will be picking up, and there's certainly a concern in some areas across the plains and the mountains. Current temperatures, again, 60s, even some low 70s already across the far eastern plains. We're looking at 40s and 50s in the high country. All right, how warm will we get? Our forecast high, 74 degrees. Will we beat the record? Likely not. The current record, 79 degrees, set back in 1989, but we will get close. We're certainly going to be well above our normal, which is 54 degrees for this time of the year. Mostly sunny, 74 degrees. Your forecast high was looking at 70s across the plains, even some 80s down across the southeast corner. And we're looking at the 40s and 50s up in the high country. We're staying in the 70s all the way through 6 o'clock tonight. And then we're dropping down into the 60s by 7 o'clock, thanks to that daylight saving time. So warm 70s day, that tops our weather headlines. Fire danger. We'll talk about that with those gusty winds and a storm moving in just in time for the weekend. More on that coming up in your complete forecast in just a bit.
Thank you so much. We actually just learned that one of the Aurora teenagers injured while playing with a gun has died. Police say last night 3 15-year-old boys were inside a mobile home on Sable Boulevard just north of Colfax. One of the teenagers was playing with a gun when it went off, hitting himself and another teen. Police said they arrested the shooter on second-degree murder charges, but they're still trying to find out how the teens got the gun. A man accused of murdering a Clear Creek County dog breeder and then hiding his body is back in front of a judge this morning, but we're still waiting to learn exactly what happened inside of that courtroom. Sergio Ferrer is accused of killing Paul Peavy, who Ferrer claims he shot in self-defense. Investigators say Peavy suffered multiple gunshot wounds and that his head showed significant trauma. Detectives discovered numerous attempts to sell Peavy's prize Doberman puppies through social media. Prosecutors have shown the messages in court sent from Ferrer's phone saying, quote, "Can you help me get rid of some European Dober puppies? I got 8 of them, 2 months old." Gary Burke, one of Peavy's close friends, was part of the original community search party who found his body.
There was no way there was self-defense involved in this whole thing, any way, shape, or form. He was trying to sell the Dobermans through social media using his phone.
Ferrer later admitted to taking the puppies. He's charged with first-degree murder, felony murder, aggravated robbery, tampering with a deceased human body, second-degree burglary, and theft. We're going to have more details of his court appearance later today on 9 News. The now former Broncos outside linebackers coach suspected of assaulting a Denver police officer may be allowed into a diversion program that could keep him out of jail. Michael Wilhoit appeared in Denver County Court this morning. That program will let him undergo education and perform community service. If he's successful, his criminal case would be sealed. According to court records, Wilhoit was arrested last month after a fight with a police officer at Denver International Airport. He was charged with second-degree assault. Wilhoit is due back in court on May 6th. The Colorado Department of Local Affairs has opened up a pre-applications for its next round of emergency rental assistance. The department says funding is available for Coloradans who have fallen behind on their rent, meet income limits, and are at risk of eviction or displacement. Those applications will close this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Once the pre-application window closes, all applicants will be entered into a random selection to determine who will receive the full application.